Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a city, not just grand, but built in a perfect circle.
Yeah, really striking, almost unheard of at the time, that kind of design.
And for, what, 500 years? This place wasn't just a capital?
No, no, you could absolutely argue it was the biggest, richest, maybe even the smartest city on Earth then.
The real heart of this incredible golden age.
Exactly.
So this is our deep dive into ancient Baghdad. We're looking at the sources you've got, trying to figure out, what made it so special.
Right. What was the vision behind it?
And then, well, what eventually happened to it all.
It's quite a story.
It really starts with the founder, Caliph al-Mansur.
The second Abbasid caliph.
Right. And he didn't just, inherit a capital. He actively searched for the perfect spot for a new one.
Meticulously.
And he found it right there on the Tigris River, crucially near the Euphrates, too.
Perfect for trade routes, obviously, and water supply. Super strategic.
And he apparently looked at this spot and said, this is it. This is where I rule, where my descendants rule.
And building it there, moving the capital, that was huge. More than just practical.
How so?
Well, think about it. They moved east from Damascus, the old Umayyad capital.
Which had a more sort of purely Arab focus.
Exactly. So moving east and then choosing that round city design, which had Persian roots.
Ah, okay.
It immediately signaled something new. A more international empire was the idea. Blending cultures, bringing influences in from all over their territories.
Deliberately multicultural from the start.
Pretty much.
And speaking of bringing different people in, right from day one for the actual founding date.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Our sources say to get the luckiest possible date to start building, al-Mansur consulted two famous astrologers.
Right. And check this out. One, Nobak, was Zoroastrian from Persia.
Okay.
And the other, mashallah, was Jewish.
Wow. Okay, that feels significant. A caliph using non-Muslim experts for something so foundational.
It really does.
Was that common? What's that tell us about his vision, you think?
Well, rulers often use talented people from various backgrounds, sure. But for this, choosing the exact moment the city's destiny begins, July 30th, 762, under Leo.
Yeah.
And trusting that critical symbolic task to people outside the dominant faith. It shows a very deliberate, strategic welcoming of talent.
Not just putting up with difference, but seeking it out.
Exactly. Seeking the best minds, the best knowledge, whatever their background, right at the very beginning.
And that really set the tone, didn't it?
It absolutely set a precedent.
Yeah.
It fostered that intellectual, cultural collaboration that defined Baghdad's golden age for centuries.
500 years fueled by that spirit. A beacon of learning, science, art.
Commerce, too, for the whole known world, really.
Which, of course, makes the end of the story just gut-wrenching.
Yeah. Fast forward those centuries, you get to 1258.
And the Mongols arrive, under Hulagu Khan.
The siege starts in January 1258.
And the Caliph then, al-Mustasim, he didn't surrender.
No. A fatal miscalculation? Really. He seemed to believe the city's famous walls were just too strong. Underestimated the Mongols.
But they were siege experts.
Unmatched. They broke through the defenses and the city fell. Fast. February 1258.
And what happened next was just horrific.
An immense tragedy.
Yeah.
For a whole week, the city was sacked. Destruction, looting, terrible loss of life. The scale is hard to grasp.
And amid all that loss, there's one image, one story that really sticks.
The House of Wisdom.
Yeah. All those books, centuries of knowledge, scholarship, translations.
Ripped from the libraries, apparently, and just thrown into the Tigris River.
And the story goes, the river ran black.
Black with ink.
The river of ink. It's such a powerful symbol, isn't it?
It perfectly captures that loss, the destruction of knowledge itself. It's often seen as, the symbolic endpoint of that Islamic Golden Age.
Did Baghdad ever recover?
Well, the city continued, yes. It was rebuilt eventually. But did it ever regain that same global prominence, that intellectual leadership?
No.
No, never quite the same. But its legacy that lived on.
How so?
Through the knowledge that had been created and copied there before the fall. That knowledge spread, influenced thinkers across Europe, the Middle East. Its impact continued for centuries.
So looking back at this whole arc, this amazing founding, this collaborative spirit, then this devastating end, what's the takeaway for us, today?
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, consider the value of all that knowledge that was just lost, dissolved in the river.
Unimaginable.
And maybe it teaches us something about how powerful cultural collaboration can be, how it can build something truly extraordinary.
And maybe also how fragile learning is, how vital it is to protect and preserve knowledge, understanding across time, against any threat.